We're in.
All right, what's going on, everyone? So Mike and I wanted to start a new series addressing some things going on. We've been getting a lot of comments. What happened to Brothers Green? Are you guys doing videos anymore? I haven't seen you together. I haven't seen any videos coming out in general. What is happening? Some people are freaking out. Some people probably don't care, but we decided to do a little like new video series kind of addressing some of these things coming up for us.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing we want to talk about is just a lot of our internal feelings that we don't get to chat about in our normal YouTube videos. For years, we've been just, trying to inspire you guys how to cook, how to get over those fears of the kitchen and, let food really just come into your life and take over. But what happens is, this is also a business. This is life. This is us as brothers. There's a lot of things behind the scenes that we never get to chat about. And this series is us kind of diving into that. So every episode, we're gonna pick a topic that we want to discuss. It could be about our relationship. It could be about YouTube. It could be about food. We're just gonna have a conversation. Literally, this came from Josh and I having a conversation before this.
10 minutes ago.
We should film this. So this is normal. This is how we normally speak to each other.
I guess you guys are getting kind of like a insider view into our conversations, especially I just moved to Denver. So there's been a lot around that. Like, oh, you moved, what's going to happen to Brothers Green?
This is a huge transition period for Brothers Green, and we'll have an entire video on that. We're not necessarily going to talk today about that. What I want to focus on today is something that's been on my mind for a while, which is the isolation and loneliness of being a YouTube creator.
So lonely.
We've been YouTube creators for 5 years. Oh.
We've been like creators for 6 years, on YouTube for 5 years. Yeah. Had our channel for 4.
Yeah. And there's a lot of there's probably a lot of you out there that wonder what the deal is. Maybe you aspire to be a YouTube creator, and there's so much behind the scenes that no one tells you about. I'm telling you, I haven't seen many videos of the true inside good stuff. So this is where you're going to get it. And today we want to talk about that. And one thing that I've found is how isolating being a YouTube creator can be. And I think this goes for all of social media. I think we're entering into a very new world, and in a new world, no one really knows how it works. And that new world is social media. That new world is the internet. And it creates a lot of isolation because you're interacting. Speaking of interacting through the internet, there's a lot of interaction through the internet, and I'm starting to shift a lot in my life and question, is that giving me the fulfillment that I'm looking for in my life? This sort of, this existence on social media of putting out a video, seeing how people respond.
What's the never ending?
The never ending.
That's the biggest thing, is like you see people feeling like they need to keep posting, and it becomes this never ending thing. Like I look back at some of the videos that I've done, and it almost becomes, it's like a drug. Like you need to fix. You're like, oh, I haven't put out a video in a while. I need to put this video out so I can actually have some kind of like fulfillment, because you put a video out and then you see how well it does, and you see the likes, and you kind of see like what people are thinking and feeling about you. And you either feel good, like, wow, people like this, as lots of likes, or, in comments and views and stuff, or people start shitting on it. And, sometimes those moments, like when I'm like doing it because I need that fix, it's like this weird, like, whoa, like this, what the hell? I got sucked into the matrix. I need to get the hell out. And I think, speaking to a lot of our channel, we've always prided ourselves on not just putting out content to put out content. And we've always talked about that and doing things only when we're inspired, and not feeling like we have to do it weekly or daily or whatever. But sometimes you get into
we're human beings. And also, the thing with YouTube is it's changed a lot over the years. It's there's algorithms are constantly changing. You can watch 100 videos on just, YouTube algorithms and how they work. And a lot of times, you're actually getting rewarded for posting all of the time. So what happens is you can fall into this cycle. And at least, I'll speak for myself. I'm sure it's similar for Josh, but if you get into this cycle of, especially when you're not creating with other people, which there's a lot of YouTubers out there that aren't necessarily collaborating. They're, by themselves, wherever they are. They're filming, which is already pretty damn weird. Like, I'm telling you, we've gotten used to it, but sitting in front of a camera by yourself and filming is a weird thing. And there's no actual, you're connecting with a freaking machine, a lens. You're just trying to imagine people out there, but they're not. It's a lens, and you're talking to them, and you edit it and you put it out, and you edit, you sit there all day editing a video. So you're more isolated. And then you, like Josh said, you see how the video does. And then it's like, okay, that video did well. Now it's time to go back into the YouTube machine and put more stuff out. And for me, at least, it's like, I didn't realize this, but I'm starting to realize this more and more, how important human connection is. I think we are wired as human beings to connect with other human beings, to collaborate, to work on a team for something greater. And what I found with YouTube, being a YouTube creator, is there was this, like Josh said, it was more of this drug reward than actual fulfillment. So there was this reward of like, okay, we're doing well, we're growing this channel, but what is that actually doing for my life? Am I like fulfilled inside, or is it like, the drug of more hits?
And I think one of the reasons that this is valuable, not just to people that want to start a YouTube channel or have a YouTube channel, but for people that are just existing in the realm of social media. If you have a Facebook, an Instagram, a Twitter, whatever it is you might not realize it, but our brains started to get trained in this liking pattern. Like, for some reason, likes and stars and thumbs up have become the way in which we just judge everything. It's like everything's a vote almost these days. Like, your whole life is a freaking yes or a no. And we get conditioned to actually, like, say you have an Instagram account, you might only have 50 people. It could be your friends following you. You put out a picture, 10 people might thumb or heart that video or picture, whatever. But then, like, you put out one the next day and maybe it gets less likes, and all of a sudden, like, something is kind of off. And then you do one the next day and it's got more likes. And all of a sudden you're in this battle with, like, what am I doing? What are people liking? Trying to post that perfect picture because you want to get back to that many likes. And it becomes this weird wave where you're always judging how you feel. I'm not speaking for everyone, but I know this is very common for people. Like, on Facebook, get, certain types of pictures that do well. And it becomes this endless cycle of, like, trying to get more of that feeling. So it's not just happening for creators. I think it's starting to happen for everyone that has any kind of social media, which is why some people are like, I'm getting off Facebook, or like you've been, it's like taking a Facebook.
Yeah, we've all done it. We've all done it. And that's like what I've really been looking into and trying to study and trying to bring in my life, is taking away less of that and bringing in more just actual human connection. And that's something that you have to work for. Like Josh was saying, we're conditioned to like interact through social media. And it really starts to feel more like an actual drug than like something that, humans can truly relate to and connect to. So one thing for me is that I've realized I need personally more collaboration in my life. And that's like going back to the isolation of being a YouTuber. I think that is one way to combat. It's not like all social media is bad. This is a double-edged sword. There's the good sides and the bad sides. And I think for us, we got in this groove that we just started creating our own videos, and we lost a lot of our collaboration within Brothers Green, and you just start doing your own thing. And I think one solution to being a creator online is to get out there and collaborate. Try to like make real connections, and then you spread it, then you post it. But at least, in the actual creation part, there's more fulfillment as a human being. So you're not just locked in a room by yourself.
And you see this a lot. Like, I think we fell into a tiny bit where you're doing a collaboration, like you reach out to some YouTuber, they're going to be in town, and you're like, hey, let's get together for 30 minutes or 2 hours and let's just shoot a video and like, let's just collaborate just so we can kind of share each other's fans and promote each other. And we'll get
good point right there.
But I think to what your point, Mike, is like, we're actually, when it comes to collaboration, figuring out people in your community that you want to share things with, people. Like, I was in Ireland not too long ago, and I shot a video with a happy pair, and it would have been forced had we just met up for a couple hours and shot, but we actually spent like an entire weekend together and became friends. So by the time we shot, like, I knew them, I got their vibe, there was a friendly connection, and I got to experience their whole world. And to me, that was the true gem of being down there and experiences that was getting to like see their world, to be part of it, to wake up at 5 a.m. with them in the morning and swim in the ocean, versus just like, hey, let's just think of some creative idea, get together and be out. And listen, sometimes that works, but I think the isolation, like you said, Mike, does come from a person being alone. And let me just say this though, like we love making videos for you guys. That's not a question. Like, and I am reminded when I get good comments and stuff and I talk about this stuff, I'm reminded that there are people out there that actually are watching this and appreciating it and being inspired. So I always try to remind myself of that. But a lot of times I think the isolation comes in when you're doing something that's unique to yourself, because we always try to pride ourselves on being different and unique on this channel. But maybe it's some of your audience isn't into that, because maybe they started watching, and maybe some of you guys started watching Brothers Green because you're into like just budget cooking. And then I do a video about something that's a little more off the cuff.
That's a whole different topic. Are we going there?
But this is with isolation. I won't get too deep into it, but like, I think what's isolating to me is when I forget that like, there are going to be people that aren't going to like certain videos. Cause like, I like putting out stuff that I feel inspired by, but I'm always on this line of doing something inspiring and doing something that like, I know is important for our channel. And there can be this weird line when you're like, okay, I really want to film this video, I'm inspired by it. And then you put it out and a lot of people are like, hey, we want to see your old shit. And it's like, and then I go back to creating the next day and I'm like, like I want to feel good in myself, but I also want to have the external validation, which I know is external validation is I can't really focus on, but it is hard when you're getting an instant shot of judgment, like the second you put something out.
It's a real thing. And I think, it's a good point. It's like, we love creating. I think YouTube is this interesting double-edged sword. Like you have this ultimate freedom to create whatever you want, but you end up getting very comfortable. You're nervous to really go for it. So it's not saying like, we're going to continue to put out videos. We love it. I think it's just, it's finding more balance, because we've been in grooves where, like we were saying, video after video by yourself, editing the video, putting it out, seeing what people like, going back. And it's just this cycle. And it's like, what are you working for? Are you working for, growth? Are you working for fame, success? It's like, what's the true meaning behind it? And that's a balance that you have to sort of dig for in your life and figure out. Everyone is different. Some people like more isolation. Some people are more introverted, extroverted, in between, all of that stuff. And everyone needs to kind of figure out their own balance in this crazy game.
And I think what you're seeing a lot too, and it's been exposed a little bit online, but like there was this girl, I think last year, who kind of exposed her whole Instagram account, and she changed all the captions on her Instagram from like what they were to like what she was really feeling at the time. Like she was typical sort of, younger, like attractive Australian girl, I think, who like did all these yoga poses and sort of this
Instagram model.
Instagram, yeah, kind of had like like feeling very grateful today and having so much gratitude for the beach. But then she would change the caption and be like, actually, like I took like 4 hours to get that shot, and like I hadn't eaten in like a week, and just like whatever it was. And I think to me, what that sparked is a lot of the isolation on being a social media creator is seeing what everyone else is doing and thinking that like they're any different than you, thinking like, oh, they're having this great time. Like, oh, they're out in Vietnam. Like that picture with the sunset was so beautiful. And like they're sitting by the beach sipping on margaritas. But then you realize like there's actually probably in a lot of cases, there's so much stress for them to get that one shot.
You nailed it. You nailed it. I didn't think it would turn in this way, but it's so key for what we're talking about with this isolation, because that is the key. It's like there's part of social media that is just, it's a different world. If you look at social media and you think that this is real life, you've lost the game. Like you look at this Instagram account, obviously when you're on vacation, you're only posting the good stuff. It's vacation, it's like vacations can be hard sometimes. So if you're like sitting there and you're seeing someone in Fiji and you're seeing these amazing pictures, you're going to start feeling isolated. Like you're not good enough. Like, oh my God, I'm over here. I want to be there.
Yeah.
Because you have now a fake sense of their world. You've got a sense of one side of their world. And I've seen so many people go down that line, and it can be very isolating. You got to remember, this isn't 100% the real life. That's like what's happening, in your actual real life. So that's such a good point.
Well, it's the same with food though. It's like we look at Instagram food pictures. It's always the cross sectional of the burger, and the grilled cheese pull and all these things. And like, this is because we have a food channel and we like doing beautiful food shots and stuff to get you excited. Some people take that as like, I need to have that food. We get a lot of comments where it's like, oh my God, I woke up and I just watched your video. What a mistake. Like, that was so amazing. And what I'm eating is like shit right now. And I think that's like another example of like what probably happens all the time. People are looking at Instagram and they want to have this beautiful like pizza, but then they're stuck with their like frozen pizza and they're feeling like, if only I had that. Whereas like what we're always trying to create is the connection. Like, we want you to watch the videos to be inspired, but ultimately to go make a meal for yourself that you feel good about, to go make a meal for a friend, to invite some people over, to bring some food to a potluck, whatever it is, to create that connection in real life. And there has to be, it can't just be you watching our food and being like envious. Otherwise, just like we were talking about, you're going to feel left out. You're going to be isolated. You need to find a way to bring that into your life. And we've always tried to make videos. It's always been our goal to make videos to inspire you to actually get up out of your seat and get away from your computer and go to the market, or go invite some friends over to do something awesome.
Yeah. I think it goes back to this idea of, human connection and sort of like collaborating, working for something, with other people, working for something bigger. And it's when we've been in that position. That's why we want to come out and talk about it, is we've been there where we're not, we're working for something that's not true to us, which is more hits. We're human beings. Everyone on YouTube pretty much is concerned about numbers. It's just the game it is. But that's finding that balance in your life of, maybe starting to question these things and start seeing what truly is going to give you fulfillment, not just give you, the next video that's going to get likes or whatever social media platform you're on. And that's what I'm going through. And that's why we're going to create this series and continue on with different subjects, because, we're all human beings. We're all scared people. We're all figuring out life. And this is a big transition for Brothers Green.
And we wanted to keep you guys in on the conversation too.
Yeah.
I think that's a big piece of this. Like, we have it's funny because Mike and I we have a weekly business call. And Mike, just got back from being away. I just moved. So a lot has been shifting in general. We're always talking every week. And we started talking about all these things going on. And like, it just kind of, Mike was like, we should just be recording this right now. And it was like, wow, like we can actually have you guys involved in like the actual real conversation of what we're talking about. You're not just seeing the final produced video and wondering like what inspired them to make that or what's going on. Because I look back at some videos that I've done in the past when I wasn't inspired, when I was feeling isolated and trying just to get those likes. And I can look and be like, wow, that's not really me. Like, I don't really associate with that person. Maybe I was going like back into the past and trying to please people that like I'm never going to be pleased or whatever. And that creates this weird hole in my heart. So it's nice to actually be talking about, what's really coming up for us.
That sounds like another video right there.
Yeah. That's a whole, and there's so many, and tell us what are some of the things that you guys are curious about? That's the big thing. Like when it comes to, when you're watching us and other YouTubers, what is like going on in the back of your mind? What are you wondering about? What are you unsure about? Like, what do you want to know? Because we want to be able to be as open and honest as we can. Because this is the world we live in. I think we're long gone are the days of like, you go out and see a movie and everything's done perfectly. Like YouTube is the antithesis of that. It's more raw, but it's become less raw. So we want to bring it back.
Let us know what you're thinking. What you want to know about the inside scoop, because again, we're all in this together, and YouTube in general, like this is all new. Like what we're going through, we've been creating for 6 years. You got to change as human beings. Like you see, that's another video we're going to talk about is that trap of YouTube. That might be the next video. So there's a lot of good stuff we want to cover. I don't know what this series is. What's this series called, Josh? You're good at titles.
I mean, I know I had one video that was the truth of being a YouTuber, but like, so maybe it's something in that vein, you know, like something about just sharing the truth. We'll figure it out before it comes out. But listen, you know, keep being engaged, guys. Like, we just want to get you in. And a lot of this is to inspire you in your own life, because whether you want to become a YouTuber or not, like, these are very valuable things to us. What are the things that have kept us sane? And what are the things that we've done that have been different, that have allowed us to grow as individuals and not feel stuck? Because I see a lot of channels every day getting stuck, and they were doing so well, and now all of a sudden, like, they're kind of just following the audience and the things they need to do, and they don't know where to go anywhere. And that's a very real thing in any business, in any career. Like, I just saw a thing with Gary Vee, if you know him. I'm sure, Mike, you've probably watched his stuff before.
Gary Vee.
Yeah, Gary Vee. He's like the say it in your face kind of guy. But he was talking about, he's like, you always need to be looking, like, how can you put yourself out of business? You know, what's like the next step for you? Like, you always want to be put, otherwise somebody else is. And I think that's to this, like, we just want to give you information that's going to help you grow in life and not feel so alone, because we're all in this together. We're all in this together.
That's what I was just going to say. It's like, you know, speaking of isolation and loneliness, that is so important. And what we're going through right now is just being able to be, someone's calling me. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Just being able to be vulnerable, and, you know, we all have issues. We're all going through things. We're all happy. We're all sad. So that's what this is about, guys. We're going to end it here, and have a great day.
Yeah. Have a good one.
Later.
Bye.